She walked in like a shadow, 10 years too late but right on time. No one recognized her but she knew them all. The waitress who lied. The sheriff who looked away. The man who left her bleeding on the road and never turned back. Tonight she didn't come for a meal. He came for closure. But not the peaceful kind. This is not just a story, it's a payback written in silence and served cold. It was 8:02 p.m. when the bell above the diner door jingled. Rain tapped against the windows as the door swung open. A woman stepped in, soaked in shadows, her long black coat dripping with rain. She removed her hood slowly, revealing pale skin and sharp eyes that scanned the small-town diner with surgical precision. No one recognized her. Why would they? It had been 10 years. But she remembered every single one of them. The cook behind the counter, big-bellied and red-faced, Joe Galloway. The middle-aged waitress chewing gum with her back to the door, Carol. The old sheriff sipping black coffee, buried in his newspaper, Sheriff Dale Bruner. And in the far booth with 2 empty whiskey glasses in front of him, was Terry Whitman, the reason she came. Her name was Elena Cross. 10 years ago she was a high school senior with dreams of college and art. That same year her world shattered in a single night, when she was found barely alive near Miller's Ridge. Beaten, left for dead and robbed of more than just her innocence. The town said it was a robbery. The sheriff said there wasn't enough evidence. Terry said she was confused. And the town moved on. But Elena never did. She sat at the counter. Carol turned and gave her a lazy smile. "Coffee, hun?" Elena nodded. "Black. No sugar." The sheriff looked up for a moment. Their eyes met. He squinted. Something flickered in his brain but the years had buried the memory. She turned away before it clicked. Terry was laughing in the back booth, joking with another man. His voice hadn't changed. It still had that arrogant, cocky tone that used to make her skin crawl. She sipped her coffee and waited. After 20 minutes, the other man left. Terry stood up, stretched, and dropped a 20 on the table. Just as he turned to leave, Elena rose and stepped in front of him. He blinked. Do I know you?" She smiled gently. "You should." He tilted his head. "Sorry, I'm..." Before he could finish, she whispered, "Miller's Ridge." The blood drained from his face. He stammered, looking around. "Look, I don't know what you think you..." She cut him off. "You don't need to explain. I'm not here for an apology. I'm here for the truth." The diner went silent. Carol froze. The sheriff slowly stood from his seat. Terry laughed nervously. "This is crazy. I don't know who you are but I..." A tape recorder hit the table between them. Elena's voice was calm. "Say it. Just once. Tell them what you did." Terry's face turned red. "You're insane." Then came a voice from the back. Joe, the cook, stared at Elena with recognition. "Wait, you're that girl." The silence that followed felt like ice. Elena looked at the sheriff. 10 years ago I came to you. I was 17. I had bruises, broken ribs. And you said there wasn't enough proof." Bruner swallowed. "It wasn't that simple." "It was to you," she replied. "Because Terry's dad owned half this town." Terry turned toward the door. "I'm not doing this." That's when Elena said the one word that made him freeze. "DNA." He stopped. Elena pulled a sealed envelope from her coat and dropped it on the counter. "I never gave up. It took years but I found someone willing to help. The clothes I wore that night. My aunt kept them. The lab didn't care how long it had been. They found traces of your skin, your blood, your cowardice." Terry's hands shook. "This is blackmail." "It's justice," she said softly. Carol's hand covered her mouth. The sheriff looked like he had seen a ghost. "You'll go to prison," Elena said. "And so will the sheriff if he tries to cover this up again. That envelope is already with a lawyer in Chicago. This moment is just, for me." Terry lunged for the tape recorder. But Elena was faster. She pulled a pepper spray can from her coat and sprayed him directly in the eyes. He screamed, falling to the floor, thrashing. The sheriff moved forward. "Enough. This isn't your courtroom." "No," Elena replied. "But it's the only place I ever got heard." 10 minutes later, sirens were blaring outside. The real county police had arrived. She had already contacted them before stepping foot into that diner. A new day, a new sheriff in the neighboring county. They were waiting for her word. Terry was arrested on the spot. So was Sheriff Brunner for obstruction of justice. Joe and Carol gave their witness statements, shame heavy on their faces. As Elena walked out of the diner, the rain had stopped. She looked back once, not at the people but at the broken walls of a place that used to trap her memories. Not anymore. She stepped into her car, exhaled deeply and drove away.